All right. Welcome to seventh grade language arts with Mr. Bender. That'd be me. I'm so excited to meet everyone and get to know you. So let's get started. These are a few things that you need to know as we start our class and for you to have great success this year. Okay, so number one, and as we're starting off in a virtual setting, I want to make sure that we know what our expectations and standards are for Zoom meetings. Again, we don't want, we want this to be a great experience. And with these kind of core standards, I think this will be an excellent learning experience, and it'll also be something that we tend to enjoy throughout the year. So, number one, let's be prepared. As you look up here, you want to make sure that your computer, your Chromebook is charged or plugged or at least plugged in, right? You want to be prepared for that and be ready to go. If you feel like you like to take notes, make sure you have paper and pencil right there. Make sure that you're kind of sitting up. You have a great posture. You're ready to go. You're mentally prepared to start the class. Because that's, like I said, incredibly important. Next, you want to look over and there it says be on time. Notice how it's my face on time magazine. Be on time. But this is so important. Again, punctuality. Make sure you try to get there right when we start our class. And I'll talk about our class times later on. But that's something that can really set the tone for you and get you set up. I know that some classes might end a little bit later, and you're going to be quick switching from class to class, but it is really important that you're on time and ready to go. The next thing, muting your mic. Again, I think we've all had some experiences with Zoom or Google Meets where individuals don't have their microphone muted when they come in. I've set it so that it will be muted when you come in, so you won't have to do anything to do that. You want to leave it muted unless you're called on or you're working in a breakout session. Because again, it's really hard to understand, especially if there's background noise going on in your home. It can be distracting not only to you, but also to other students. It can be distracting to me. I can't hear some students, they can't hear me, or you for that matter. So, again, we want to make sure our mic is muted when we're ready to go. Next one is key respect. Respect others, right? There should never be any screenshotting or recording. Well, its recording is not enabled, so that's not anything to worry about. But again, we're respecting others. We're having civil dialogue as students, and I shouldn't have to say this, but this is just like we're in the classroom. If it's anything you wouldn't say there, you don't want to say it virtually, certainly. And we want to treat everyone with respect, and honor their ideas, and really be a great fellow student. Next, we have to participate, right? It's great that you're showing up, but then you have to take it a step further and become a part of the conversation, be part of the action, do the sort of things that you need to do in this. And, again, if you're working in a breakout room, you're working together and really trying to make something happen, answering the questions or doing the challenges that way. So, again, you've got to participate. And over here we have focus. I read a book called Peak Performance, and the authors talked significantly about how if you have a cell phone within eyesight, you automatically perform at lower levels cognitively. Your mental abilities are much lower if your phone is within eyesight. And again, people start to focus on that. So keep your phone off. Keep it stashed away, maybe in another room, so that's not going to be a distraction. If you have an iPad or anything like that, try to keep it out of the way so that your sole focus can really be having an immersive experience on Zoom. Next off, we have be diligent. And what I'm really focusing on here is if you have a task, make sure you really are working on that task, especially when we do breakout sessions. You want to make sure that you're working together to come up with a collaborative idea, a collaborative solution that's going to help you, solve the problem or what have you. So again, we want to be making sure we're working together as a team and focusing on what needs to be accomplished. Next, pick a quiet space. And this is just as important for you as it is, for anyone else. If you are constantly struggling to hear, maybe a pair of earbuds might be really helpful for you. Uh, Again, try to find a spot where you're going to hear the best you possibly can. I can't stress that enough, because if you can't hear, you'll have trouble understanding the conversation and what's going on. Next, turn your camera turn your camera on. Unfortunately, it's kind of cut off here, but you want to turn your camera on. That's pretty important, at least initially, so that we can kind of see who you are, get to know you, know who, put a face to a name. And again, please make sure if you have any reason why uh, you shouldn't have your camera on, maybe your internet is really struggling that day, and you have like a sibling or two on Zoom meets, and it's really getting choppy, or we can't understand you. We'll turn that off, and hopefully that'll work out. Also, if there's any other reason, you can just email me or message me, and we'll get that squared away as well. We want everybody to feel comfortable in this environment, and that's part of it. We want to try and get you to that point where you are all having your camera on. The next thing that we want to talk about is every single day you're going to have in Google Classroom this handy dandy slide that's going to kind of tell you what's going on. So up here is live Zoom times. Well, our class times will be 7:50 to 9:10 for section M. For section S, it's 9:10 to 10:30. For section O, we're 12:20 to 1:40. And ISTA Help is 1:50 to 2:30. The links for all those Zooms are going to be in your Google Classroom. And again, they will be under a topic called live Zoom meets or live Zoom links. So that'll be right there for you. We'll always have the date up top ready to go, so you kind of know where you're at and what you have to do. Next, the order of things. What are we doing today? So today we are going to do a live Zoom meeting. Again, really a get to know you, kind of see everybody's face that we haven't seen for over a year, and well, probably more than that. We're going to do a breakout bonanza. We'll be doing a little breakout activity to kind of start to work together a little bit. There's going to be a pre-recorded lesson on Edpuzzle about our class standards. So this is going to be a part of it. So maybe I'll ask you a question about it. The next thing, you want to complete the student survey. This is going to be an exit ticket, and it's going to help me get a little bit more information about you. Learn to get to know you, because it is a little bit more difficult to get to know people in a virtual setting. So this will just help jumpstart that and get us moving in the right direction. And finally, we'll have some independent reading time as well. And I should note that whenever you see this highlighted in blue, like it's lit up, that means it's a link, and you can click on it and it will take you there. Next up, our exit ticket. This is so important, right? An exit ticket, it's kind of your ticket out the door, but we don't have a real door, it's a virtual door. And we're going to have one every single day. And it may be a Google form like it is today. In other cases, it may be something completely different. But I'll let you know every single day. It will always be green. One of the reasons why it's incredibly important is that it's going to be used for attendance purposes. So if you don't do it, you will be marked absent for that day. So make sure you're always completing your exit ticket. And it's always going to be green. Again, I think about it as your, green light to head to your next class after you complete that. And this is after you've submitted all the other activities or completed them. You're not doing it before you've done any of the other activities or things. So again, this is your golden ticket out the door. The next thing that we're going to take a look at is Google Classroom. And you're going to find a lot of different things. Many of you were obviously here this past year, and you're going to recognize Google Classroom and be pretty familiar with it. But we have a lot of different things here that are going to help you in Google Classroom. We'll put class notes in there. Sometimes we'll have or all times we'll have our assignments with links, descriptions, and rubrics, right? So you'll know how you're being assessed. You'll know again, what kind of links you're going to need, and there are going to be descriptions. We'll have readings sometimes posted in there from our textbook that you'll be able to take a look at, you'll be able to read and go through. We'll have links to websites that you might use, whether that's an app or not. We'll have videos. Again, there are going to be videos that sometimes we'll show you just to give you a little bit of background information and be helpful in that way. Zoom meeting links, they're all there. This is your one-stop shopping center. Think of it like your Amazon, your Walmart. Well, Walmart's more of an in-store experience, but Amazon, think of Google Classroom as our class Amazon. Um, you're going to find recorded lessons. And again, those will usually be in the form of an Edpuzzle as well, where you're going to have a few questions that it's just checking to make sure that you paid attention. And again, when we take a look at an Edpuzzle, you're going to have to watch the entire thing, or else it'll tell me that you didn't watch the entire thing. Also, it's going to record your answers. And I'll certainly be able to tell if you struggled with that particular thing. So again, make sure you're watching the entire video and make sure that you're answering all the questions. And also in Google Classroom, you will use it to submit work. One of our big things that we use is the assignment calendar. In the assignment calendar, this is going to be really important because you probably aren't going to be writing as much in your agenda books this year. So you're going to check this out, and it's going to have all of your assignments for your major subjects and some of your unified arts. It's going to include important dates if there's anything that needs to be turned in. Some of your UA classes, like I said, will be there. And you can look to my class website to find it. It's right there. It's embedded. It's really nice and neat and very easy for us, and it's also listed by teacher name. So a lot of times mine will be either it'll start off with Bender, usually blue, and then it'll go into the assignment. Other times, Mrs. Mollick and I will have the same assignment, and we'll just type in language arts first. And if you see just language arts or Bender, that's like your spidey senses going off, and you are knowing that that is going to be an assignment for you. So again, you can go right to my website on the Schuylkill Valley Middle School website, and it's already embedded. You don't have to click on any links. It's right there. You'll see it right away, and that'll be really nice for you, especially in a virtual setting, to keep track of your assignments. Next up, we have Accelerated Reader. Now, I'm sure all of you are pretty familiar with AR so far from your Schuylkill Valley experience, but this year it'll be a little bit different. Well, we're encouraging you to read 3 AR books during each marking period. All AR tests passed will earn extra credit. You may read as many books as you would like during a quarter to earn extra credit points. So again, extra credit points are for each book, and it is as follows. You get 100%. You get 5 extra credit points. You get 90 to 95%. You get 4 extra credit points. If you get 80 to 85% correct, you get 3 extra credit points. If you get 70 to 75%, we got 2 extra credit points. And if it's less than 70, you're not going to get any extra credit points. As far as AR this year, we want you to base your reading off of something that is within a very close range to your STAR test. Again, we want to be checking that level, and we'll be doing that later in the year, but we want to make sure that you're kind of keeping it pretty close. Remember that AR books this year must be worth 2 points. So they must have at least 10 questions. If there's ever any time that you're taking your AR test, you need to go to the Schuylkill Valley website under library and click on AR there. If you don't do it and you just type it into Google, you will get taken to the wrong place and it won't work. You won't be able to sign in, and you'll have a lot of problems that way. And usually if students are having trouble accessing it, that will be the problem. Also, if you're not sure what level your book is, or if there's an AR test, you can go to arbookfinder.com, and boom, just by clicking on that, you'll be able to find your book and really be able to tell how many points it's worth and go from there. Now, as a way to help you continue on your accelerated reader and getting your extra credit points, we are going to be providing you with approximately 20 minutes each day to get your reading in, right? This is so important for a variety of reasons. Obviously, you can get extra credit, you can continue to read your AR, but really, 20 minutes a day will improve your reading, writing, and vocabulary. You'll be exposed to new words, new writing styles. It's going to give you new ideas. It's going to be extremely beneficial in a variety of ways. And one of the things that you want to do is make sure you're doing it each day. A little bit over a long period of time is going to be huge. Maybe you're someone that, well, I struggle to sit down and read for 20 minutes. Okay, start out with 10 or start out with 5. It's extremely difficult to only read for 5 minutes or only read for 10 minutes. By starting out and just getting in a habit of doing it over and over, you'll find yourself increasing your reading stamina and probably enjoying reading a little bit more. Again, you can ask for any ideas as far as books that you would like to read. I'll always be there to help you with that. But again, if you try to read for 5 minutes, it's really hard to stop at 5 minutes. So you'll find yourself reading a little bit more. Sometimes you won't read as much, and that's okay too. But we want to really aim for 20 minutes a day. And it doesn't all have to be in one chunk. You can read a little bit in the morning, read in a little bit during class, and then read a little bit at night. But again, the key is just that we're reading for our 20 minutes a day. Now, office hours. Uh, this year it's going to be a little bit different during ISTA, and especially if you're confused about an assignment. Would you like someone to review your writing? Do you need a suggestion for an excellent book? You're in luck. Every day from 1:50 to 2:30, I'm available to answer any questions you might have. Just click on the ISTA Zoom link and it'll be ready to go for you. You can also email me using your school Gmail account. Anytime you need to contact me, cbender@schuylkillvalley.org, as you're going to see right there, is usually the best way to get a hold of me during the school day. I will, certainly be able to check it. Even in the evening, I'm usually checking it at night, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. But again, I can't stress this enough. We have a large chunk of time there to help you if you have any questions whatsoever, or maybe you have a tech issue or anything like that. Maybe we can help, or you need to help with an app that we're using, and that's all okay. This year is really going to be something fun, and we're really going to try and broaden our horizons as readers and writers. And I'm really excited. It's very hard for me to hide my excitement, so again, I'm very excited to meet everyone today, and I hope it's the start of a great year.